How do you actually stick to a routine even if you lack discipline? Building a routine is one of the most powerful things that you can do to start to achieve more in every area of your life, all while feeling more clear, motivated, happy, and successful. Following a strict routine myself for the last 6 months, it's not only allowed me to get into the best shape of my life, read a ton more books, and become 4 times more productive throughout the week, all while still having plenty of time to wind down. In this video, I wanted to break down how you can stay consistent with a routine, the important lessons you need to learn along the way, and how to actually do all of this without needing to discipline yourself or force yourself. Now, if you clicked on this video, you likely already know the benefits that come with a routine: more productivity, focus, time, achievement, and structure in your life. But you're probably also struggling to keep this routine a part of your daily life and make it a habit. And that comes down to not knowing these 3 core lessons. So the first thing that prevents you from making your routine a habit is identity. Let me break it down for you. Your identity dictates the results that you see in your life. Say, for example, you see yourself as a person who struggles with habits and can't stick to a routine. If you see yourself as that person, that's who you become. So here's the trick. If you switch your current belief and identity to who you want to become instead of who you currently think you are, then you start to take the actions of the person that you want to become, therefore moving you closer to actually becoming that person and taking on the identity. The identity first starts in your mind. Now, bringing it back to a routine. In order to stick with the routine, you need to change your identity into a person who believes that all the different things in your routine are actually something that you do every single day subconsciously, meaning that you're not using this routine to get out of a slump. You actually are doing this routine as part of your daily life and daily habit. Just as you brush your teeth every single day in the morning and you make your bed in the morning, or you take a shower every night before bed, that's part of your subconscious. It's just a part of who you are. It's your identity, it's your routine. So the same thing needs to happen if you want to actually bring on a different routine that has more beneficial things like reading books, exercising every day, and so on and so forth. To do this, visualization can be an extremely useful and effective tool to help you bring on that new identity. Picture yourself carrying out the routine with perfect ease, productivity. Do this in the mornings when you're about to start your routine. Picture yourself just flying through all the tasks throughout the day. Picture the different times that you're going to be doing your routine, whatever you have set up for yourself. Feel good about it. Start to feel the emotions associated with having a productive routine. Picture how successful you're going to feel. Picture all the things that you're going to do and how accomplished you're going to feel at the end of the day. Remember that all creation first starts in the mind. So if you picture yourself achieving what you want to be doing over and over again, you subconsciously move yourself towards that goal and actually take the steps in order to actually do those things in real life. The more you think about it, the more you will actually carry it out. This doesn't mean you need to control your mind. You need to simply influence it in the direction that you want it to go in. You have nearly 60,000 thoughts per day, so nudging yourself in that direction and just consciously pushing thoughts in your mind of productivity, feeling good, being on the routine, and seeing yourself achieving all these things every single day actually pushes your mind into that direction every single day, which over time compounds and brings you closer to that new identity that you're making up in your mind. Doing that will push you away from needing all this discipline, because then it becomes a part of you. It's a part of your subconscious mind, and you start to do your routine effortlessly. If you're struggling with the routine right now and you feel like you're going in an uphill battle, chances are your identity is someone who doesn't have that routine. You're fighting your mind against who you actually think you are versus the actions that that person takes. If you think you're someone who does X, Y, and Z every single day, and that's just a part of who you are, if you try to implement new actions and new habits into your daily life, it's going to be difficult and you're going to butt heads with your mind because it's not congruent to who it thinks and believes you are. In other words, it's not a perfect fit, and therefore anything that comes as a foreign thought or a foreign object into your mind almost tries to get away from it as the same way it would get away from like a virus or a bacteria that's harming your body. So to make a routine in your life effortless and for you to not need to punish yourself for not following along or force yourself with discipline and butt heads with your mind, change your identity into the person who actually does the things on the routine, who reads every day, who works out, who doesn't scroll on social media, and instead puts productive hours of work into the side hustler business that you want to start. And as you continue on focusing and putting emotions into these thoughts, you start to change your behaviors and move your actions into the person that you want to become, into where your mind is currently at, your identity. After that, it just becomes an effortless part of your life. The second thing you need to stick with a routine is clearly defined tasks. So most people start off with a routine with overly ambitious tasks. They set a million different things to do. They don't even realize how much is going to take them. And so what happens is when they start this routine with all these different ambitious tasks, like overly ambitious, like from 0 to 100 in one day, then they start to fail and trip up and not get everything complete. And what that does to the mind is it signals that you can't achieve this. Like you're not capable of doing it. And so what happens is you start to let go and give up, and then all of a sudden you're not on the routine anymore because you failed. You failed your overly ambitious 0 to 100 perfect routine, and that's not the way it should be. The way to create a routine that you can actually stick with is to understand the base of it and why you're doing it. Ask these 3 questions to yourself. Number 1, what do I want to improve in? Number 2, what am I capable of doing every day? And number 3, how will I measure it each day? If you don't know why you're doing a certain thing on the routine and what benefits it brings to you specifically, you're gonna have a really hard time sticking with it. And especially if you don't know how to measure it as well, like when do you stop? How do you know if you've completed something? That's super, super important for you to be able to stick with a routine. That begs the question, what do you want to improve in every day that you're capable of doing, and how will you measure it? Is it 100 push-ups? Is it 100 pages of reading? Is it 5 kilometers of running every day? Like, define what it is specifically that you want to be doing. Once you've answered these 3 questions, you now have a purpose to your routine. So you know exactly what benefits you're aiming for, what you're capable of doing every single day, and what is reasonably achievable. For example, I really wanted to read 100 pages of a book each and every single day, and that's exactly what I kind of programmed into my routine. My purpose was to just get smarter. Like, I didn't know enough things to have deep conversations with the people that I wanted to have conversations with in the future. So I planned it as a future goal. So in order for me to actually have good conversations with the people that I want to connect with in the future, I need to be more educated. And that comes in the form of reading books on various topics like finance, business, leadership, psychology, mindset, money. Literally, the list is endless. And so after setting that goal for myself, I knew that I had to read 100 pages every day, which was ambitious, but definitely doable. That's how I knew what was going to be a part of my routine. And now I've read all of these books in the last couple of months, and it's been absolutely incredible. And I can talk about things that I couldn't previously talk about. It's really, really great. You see a ton of improvements. So the key is that I had a purpose behind it, and I had a long-term vision, and it was very, very measurable and achievable for me. So that's what I did. So once you've answered these 3 questions, you now have purpose with your routine, and that means you understand what benefits you need in your life, how you achieve them, what's reasonable for you to do every single day and what you're capable of doing, and then how will you measure it each and every single day. With that, once you understand that, then you can set yourself to go on autopilot and to make this part of your daily life. The final thing you need to understand when creating a routine and sticking with it is priority. Establishing a routine and carrying out the tasks inside is number 1 priority for the first 2 weeks. This is to begin programming your mind and start to achieve things which will help you understand a couple of things, so let's go over them. The first is how long the routine takes. Before you start, you have little understanding of how much time each of the tasks take in order for you to complete your day. After a few weeks of repetition, you start to understand how long each of the tasks take, and this comes very handy later down the line. The second thing that you start to understand is that you are capable. You start to build self-esteem and build up your new identity. I cannot emphasize how key this is. When you start off on the right foot, you start to build prolonged momentum, and that carries on into the weeks after. 2 weeks is approximately the time it takes for you to actually build up momentum and make this routine a part of your new identity. You've likely heard the saying that how you start your day will determine how the rest of your day goes, and the same goes for starting a routine. You need to start off your routine on a high note in order to create that momentum and actually stick with it. On normal days, I know exactly when I'm doing my routine. I have everything scheduled out for regular days, but on busier days, I have alternate schedules that I've created because I know how long these different things take for me to complete each morning. Therefore, it allows me to complete the routine every single day without fail, regardless of what happens or what pops up during the day. Getting to this point requires time, understanding, and experience. The more momentum you have on your routine, the better you'll adapt to different situations when they pop up. All right, now here's a bonus tip. If you want to actually stay consistent on a routine, create accountability in your life. This could mean in the form of recording your routine and actually posting it for others to see, or simply by letting others in your life know that you're on a routine and for them to help you, support you, and remind you along the way to stay consistent. When you establish accountability and you have somebody hold you accountable for doing your routine, you no longer have an excuse to quit because you have someone else to hold you accountable for it. I created a video series on my channel documenting my routine, and it's helped me immensely to stay consistent and actually carry out the routine every single day. If you're looking to find accountability and accountability partners, try asking your friends or your family, or alternatively, you can join my Discord or school community in order to find like-minded creators, entrepreneurs, and individuals who are all looking to level up their routine, discipline, and productivity in their life. So if you've been struggling to keep a routine as a part of your life, remember that it doesn't always come down to just discipline. Discipline is a muscle, and the more you flex it and the more you use it, the more it develops. But there are certain other ways around it for you to make something a habit into your daily life. Do these 3 things at the start, and you'll have a much easier time to stick with a routine. Now, I have one final piece of wisdom for you in order to remember as you go along and start your routine and start to build that momentum. In order for you to see the results eventually and see that exponential growth in you as a person, remember this one thing: patience is bitter, but its fruits are sweet.